What is going on, guys? This is episode 31 of our Royal Rumble review series. We are almost to the end. We're in the home stretch. We're talking about Royal Rumble 2018 today. Now, why I have the DVD for this, not the Blu-ray, no clue. But this is a 2-disc set. You got a John Cena card in there. 2018 Royal Rumble. What could I say about 2018? This was a historic event because it was going to be the first ever women's Royal Rumble match. And it was always cool to see women in the men's match, but to finally see the women break through and have their first ever women's match, women's Rumble, was phenomenal. I loved it. I thought it was a great idea. There was nothing special about the Kickoff Show. I really didn't feel like I was going to take notes, but I will run down the results of it real quick. I'll run... I did not take notes. I watched the 2017 Kickoff Show matches, but did not watch the 2018 Kickoff Show matches, primarily because I wanted to get things over and done with. But 6-man tag match, you had Kalisto, Grand Metalik, and Lance Dorado defeat TJP, Gentleman Jack Gallagher, and Drew Gulak. You had the Revival defeat Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. Then you had Bobby Roode defeat Mojo Rawley and retain the United States Championship. This was supposed to be the U.S. title tournament final, but it ended up not being. Anyway, this event took place on January 28, 2018 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I remember this event. 2 years ago, I was actually at my mom watched this elderly lady, so I was actually helping her, and I was watching this event on the WWE Network. And if I must say so, this was a hell of a Rumble. You got twice the Rumble, and you would actually get 3 Rumble matches on this night, which was pretty interesting to see. But yeah, I mean, it was what it was. I have not decided on whether or not I'm going to do a greatest Royal Rumble review yet. I've already watched the Rumble match, but I have not seen the whole show, and I really don't feel like going back. I have a review from a long time ago that I did, that I may put up from a Saudi show, but I really don't feel like reviewing greatest Royal Rumble. I will if y'all want me to, but I really don't want to. But I'll talk about greatest Royal Rumble in this one as well. First match of the night, you had a handicap match for the WWE Championship. You had AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. This was a great opener. I give it 3 1/4. It was a great opener, I thought. Good match. It was fun to watch with a slow start due to all of the quick tags. You know, AJ was by himself, and you had Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn that were teaming up against one another. And it was just an overall great match. You know, they had a commercial for WrestleMania 34, which would take place in April of that year. Next up, you would have the 2 out of 3 falls match between the Usos and Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin. I forgot this match even happened on this show. That's how forgettable this match was. And this show happened 2 years ago, so I don't know how I could forget. This show. I don't understand how I forgot. The Usos won 2 straight. It was 2-0 that they won, and this is 2 3/4. I mean, it is what it is. You know, it's nothing. It was an average match. It was a bit disappointing considering the teams involved. but they have had better matches too. But it is what it is, you know. But what really surprised me was the next match that came up, and it was the men's Royal Rumble match, and seeing that made me think, hey, is the women's Rumble going to main event? And it would, but the men's Royal Rumble match, they had it to where they would come out every 90 seconds. You know, sometimes they switch 90 seconds and 2 minutes. The first guy out was Rusev. The second guy out was Finn Balor. And Finn Balor would have an absolute phenomenal performance in this match, and he would go to the Final Four. A couple favorites going in when I was watching this. I thought Shinsuke could have won. I thought Roman could have won. I thought John Cena was a dark horse to win. In the end, though, it ended up being Shinsuke Nakamura that ended up winning. Rhino was 3. Baron Corbin was 4. Heath Slater had a funny thing going on to where he got hit. He was number 5 and he got hit, and then he ended up getting beat up until he got down to the very, very end of the ring, and Sheamus ended up getting thrown out by Heath Slater in 2 seconds. But it was cool to see some surprises. You know, you had Andrade Cien Almas here. That was fun to see. You know, it was fun to see Adam Cole. Rey Mysterio made a return at number 27, which I freaked out when I saw that the very first time. You had all 3 members of the New Day in, and of course, Kofi did a surprise, or he saved off elimination by doing the thing to where he hopped on the pancakes and jumped over. It was pretty cool to see that. Nakamura came out at number 14 and lasted a good little bit of time. The Hurricane came out at number 21. That was great to see the Hurricane. The final... there was a cool spot in the match when there was like 6 guys left, and it was Cena, Mysterio, Orton, and then Reigns, Balor, Nakamura. So those were the 6 guys left in the match. And then the final 4 ended up being Cena, Reigns, Nakamura, and Balor. And Balor had been in there 52 minutes up to that point. Balor would end up being in there a total of 57 minutes, And Shinsuke Nakamura, the Rumble match would go 65 minutes, and Shinsuke Nakamura would win the Rumble match. This, to me, is one of the best Rumbles I think I've seen in a long while. I think it is better, actually, than the 2017 Men's Rumble. This is a 4 1/4 start. I mean, I don't know what it was. And I'm going based off of one of the grades that I had seen it. I'm going back to when I saw it live. I love seeing the show live. Like, the Rumble match was phenomenal to me. I think it was one of the best Rumbles that whole decade. I think there weren't enough surprises for some people, but bringing back Rey Mysterio was pretty cool. I thought Lashley would end up coming back, but Bobby Lashley would come back later on in the year. But seeing Adam Cole, Hurricane, and everybody else was, it was pretty damn cool. I really did. And Nakamura came up there and said he was going to go after AJ Styles, which was a fantastic thought going into it, and the matches ended up being disappointing, and now Nakamura is just doing a lot worse. But next up, we get to the Raw Tag Team Championship match. We have Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan taking on Cesaro and Sheamus. Sheamus and Cesaro would be the new Raw Tag Team Champions. A 2-star Rumble match. Nothing really of... not a 2-star match here, nothing really of note. It was a decent tag match. The crowd was not interested because of how excited they were after the Men's Rumble. You know, this is kind of a filler match, and you knew that nothing was going to be good after that Men's Rumble match. I mean, this was what it was. Next up, though, you had a phenomenal triple threat match. Brock Lesnar, Braun Strowman, and Kane for the WWE Universal Championship. Brock Lesnar would end up winning this match. It was very physical, so it wasn't as good as that triple threat match between him, Rollins, and Cena, but it was a very physical match. I thought would go around 10 minutes with Lesnar pinning Kane, and I was right about that because they wanted to protect Strowman. But this was a very physical, balls to the walls match, and I think that really did show here. No, of course, Braun Strowman would later go on to win the greatest Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia in April, the 50-man one, which was a decent showing. Daniel Bryan had a great showing in that match, and you know, Brock Lesnar would defeat Roman Reigns in a steel cage there at the greatest Royal Rumble. That was what it was, you know. Next up, though, we have the first time ever the Women's Royal Rumble match, and I was hyped for this. I was. I loved seeing the Women's Rumble. I knew that we were going to see a lot of surprises. Number one was Sasha Banks. Number two was Becky Lynch. And going back and seeing how big Becky got, you know, even, you know, it's crazy to see how big Becky ended up getting. But the first elimination in Women's Rumble history was Mandy Rose. Number 5 was Lita. She was a surprise. 6 was Kairi Sane as a surprise as well. Tori Wilson came in at 9 to a good surprise. Molly Holly was in there. Michelle McCool was in there. Vicky Guerrero was in there. Kelly, Jacqueline, Ember Moon, Beth Phoenix, the winner who would be Asuka, Mickie James, both of the Bellas, and Trish Stratus came in at number 30. This was a great Rumble match, you know, to see. The Final Four ended up coming down to the Bella Twins, Sasha and Asuka. And Sasha had a fantastic performance in this match. Sasha Banks actually went about 54 minutes in this match. Asuka wins the match after 59 minutes, last eliminating Nikki Bella. 3.5 stars. The match was good with the right woman winning and getting the win. I predicted, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and give it 4. And instead, I said 3.5. But I'm going to include the post-match angle after this, too, and seeing Ronda Rousey. So I'm going to go ahead and give it 4 stars. I love seeing the post-match angle. Seeing Ronda Rousey make her WWE debut was absolutely phenomenal and incredible. And I loved it. Seeing that was just incredible. Seeing her finally make a debut. The match was good. The right woman got the win. Asuka would go on to lose to Charlotte at WrestleMania, however. The event had a 4-hour runtime. Ronda Rousey would end up signing a multi-year deal. She signed a full-time contract. Overall, though, this Rumble, WWE, for what I think is the 3rd year in a row, 16, 17, 18, nailed it out of the park. The overall show gets an 8 out of 10 for me. A couple of stars on the show: Nakamura, Asuka, Finn Balor, Sasha, and AJ. You know, the Rumble matches were both really good and fun to watch. They were not easy matches to book, but WWE really did pull it off nicely. And the right talents with Nakamura and Asuka winning, it was the right decision. The nice surprise at the end with Ronda Rousey appearing got people talking. You know, it was an overall fantastic show, you know, and WWE really nailed the 2018 Royal Rumble, and it's one of those shows that I like to go back and see, and it was one of those ones that even though it just happened, you know, it was good to go back and watch. But with that being said, we've only got one episode left in this Rumble review series, and we will be talking about the 2019 Rumble. Anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace. Your boy Killer Cam is out.